Hello, folks. Welcome to virtual Club Passim, tonight being brought to you in Allston, Massachusetts. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is our first night of two of our Dead to the Core shows. We've got so many acts coming up for you, all kinds of music ahead of you for the next couple nights. We hope that you'll tune in tomorrow night as well, also here at 7 p.m. But before we get to your music for tonight, I want to tell you just a little bit about Passim. If you aren't familiar with us, Passim is a nonprofit arts organization, and in normal times, we run a venue in Harvard Square in Cambridge. Since the lockdown in March, we have been bringing you all the music we can right here, from wherever our artists are to wherever you are. And it's been great in some ways. We've been able to have a wider audience. We've been able to have a wider set of artists as well because people don't have to come find parking in Harvard Square. It's hard to not be all in the same room together because what a lot of what we do is bringing folks together to enjoy music together. But we're making the best of the situation as we can right now, and we are going to keep bringing you shows nearly nightly through Passim. So if you go to passim.org/stream, you can see all of the shows that we have coming up. We have shows almost every night of the week. We just relaunched our open mic series as well. On most Tuesdays, we will have an open mic at 7 o'clock. So if you are a musician yourself, a budding musician, maybe you've been taking guitar lessons since you've been in quarantine and you want to show off some of your new skills, you can sign up for our open mic and perform a couple songs in front of our audience as well. We have also moved our School of Music online. We offer all kinds of classes from songwriting to clawhammer banjo to upright bass to I think our ensemble classes have changed a little bit because Zoom has that delay that we all hate. But we're making do during this time, and we've been able to still bring you some great music education so that you can stay engaged through this time as well. So you can go to passim.org if you'd like to check out any of those programs that we have going on. And over Labor Day weekend, we are going to be reopening our Iguana Music Fund. This is our annual fund from Passim. We've been doing it for over 10 years now. I think this will be our 11th year, where we give out $40,000 a year in small grants to New England-based musicians so that they can continue to make music and continue to live as artists. And these are project-based, and so folks come to us with an idea for a new album, or maybe they need to go on the road and they need to fix their tour van. And when this is all done, people are still going to need tour vans. So if you are interested in learning more about our grant program, you can also go to passim.org/iguana and see some of the great projects that we have funded in the past and how that brings music directly back into our community. So thanks for listening to my little spiel here. Speaking of shows in the club, and how hot it is because it's August, one of the most exciting and usually hottest and sweatiest shows in the club that we have every year is with our Dead to the Core folks. They've been playing in our room for the last few years on August 1st or 1st and 2nd around there. And even though we can't all be in the same room, we have brought you the same great lineup tonight. And to talk more about the music that you're going to be hearing tonight, I'd like to introduce your host for tonight, Jeffrey Pepper Rogers.
Hey there. Thanks, Abby. And so happy to be here with you all tonight. So, Dead to the Core is a project. It's a collective of singer-songwriters and acoustic musicians who all share this love of the music of the Grateful Dead. And so this project started at Club Passim. As Abby mentioned, back in 2017, we threw a party for Jerry Garcia's birthday, what would have been his 75th birthday. Had a group of great musicians come together, had a blast. So we did it again the following year, and it grew into a little tour, and we did it again And the plan for this year was to celebrate these amazing albums, Workingman's Dead and American Beauty, released 50 years ago. Um, and so, in our online capacity here, pulling together some of the musicians who are part of this collective, Dead, now called Dead to the Core, and it's so perfect to be doing this through Club Passim, such a great space for music, and still doing so much to keep the music going now when we can't gather in beautiful little basement spaces like they have over at Passim and Harvard Square. So in these shows tonight and tomorrow night, we are going to cover these albums, all the songs on the albums, plus outtake songs intended for the albums but not included. We're going to slip in the outtakes in between flipping from side A to side B. And it's really a range of performances here. Everybody's recorded in their home turf. We have everything from solo to duo to full band performances, 11 musicians involved in all, who I'll introduce as we go. And this is not about recreating the albums or particular performances by the Dead. People are playing the songs in their own way. You might hear some of them in sort of unfamiliar ways. And that's really the spirit of this project, Dead to the Core. And I think, to me, it's more in the spirit of the Grateful Dead themselves, since they were devoted to reinventing the music night after night. So that's what we're going to be doing. And Workingman's Dead is up tonight, American Beauty tomorrow, Thursday. Last thing, both nights we're going to hear a little clip from Jerry Garcia himself. I'm a music journalist and fortunate enough to meet Jerry with David Grisman back in 1993 through my work with Acoustic Guitar Magazine. Plus Bob Weir a few years later. So for the occasion, I'm going to share a couple of clips in the middle of these shows tonight and tomorrow with Jerry talking about the acoustic roots of the band and about these albums. So we will now get rolling with side A of Workingman's Dead. So the first song here is a backyard session from me with my band, who I'll introduce as part of the video here coming up. And so the album opens with this song that may be referring to the new Lost City Ramblers, and one of members of which was John Cohen, also known as Uncle John. So let's get the music rolling. Well, the first days are the hardest days, don't you worry anymore. 'Cause when life looks like easy street, there is danger at your door. Think this through with me. Let me know your mind. Oh, what I want to know is, are you kind? It's a buck dancer's choice, my friend. Better take my advice. You know all the rules by now, and the fire from the ice. Will you come with me? Won't you come with me? Oh, what I want to know. Will you come with me? Goddamn, will I declare, have you seen the like? Their walls are built of cannonballs. Their motto is, don't tread on me. Come here, Uncle John's band, playing to the tide. Come with me or go alone. He's come to take his children home. It's the same story the crow told me. It's the only one he knows. Like the morning sun you come, and like the wind you go. Ain't no time to hate, barely time to wait. Oh, oh, what I want to know, oh, where does the time go? I live in a silver mine and I call it Beggar's Tomb. I got me a violin and I beg you call the tune. Anybody's choice, I can hear your voice. Oh, oh, what I want to know, oh, how does the song go? Come here, Uncle John's band by the riverside. Got some things to talk about here beside the rising tide. Come here, Uncle John's band playing to the tide. Come on along or go alone. He's come to take his children home. Whoa, what I want to know, how does the song go? Come here, Uncle John's band by the riverside. Got some things to talk about here beside the rising tide. Come here, Uncle John's band playing to the tide. Come on along or go alone. He's come to take his children home. Down it out, down, down it out, down it out, dee. All right. Hey, I want to introduce everybody here. Over on the drums, this is Josh DeCaney. On the flute and the guitar and clarinet. Is that all you're doing today? This is Wendy Sassafras Ramsey.
Harmonizing.
And singing, beautifully singing. On the bass and responsible for our beautiful garden backdrop here and the chickens.
And the
This is
dogs.
Jason Fridley. And special thanks to the man behind the scenes, Jeremy Johnson, for making it sound good here. And to Genevieve for letting us invade their yard today.
And
Smokey
Smokey for keeping us happy.
And the chickens and the birds. All right, there's Uncle John's band in the backyard. So from there, we are going to head over to Brooklyn to Jefferson Hamer, who is a really versatile musician. Might have heard in a bunch of different projects. Child Ballads duo project with Anais Mitchell, the traditional duo, the Murphy Beds with Session Americana, multi-instrumentalist, singer, and he's got a voice that I think is really well suited to this haunting song that comes next on Workingman's Dead. So let's go to Jefferson Hamer.
You told me goodbye. How was I to know You didn't mean goodbye. You meant please don't let me go. I was having a hard time living a good life. Well, I know the wheels are muddy and got a ton of hay. Now listen here, babe, 'cause I mean what I say. I'm having a hard time living a good life. Well, I know I was losing time. I had nothing to do, no one to find. I came to you. Wheels broke down and the leader won't draw. For the line is busted, the last one I saw. Tomorrow comes trouble. Tomorrow comes pain. Now don't think too hard, baby, 'cause you know what I'm saying. I could show you a high time in a good life. Don't be that way. Nothing's for certain. It could always go wrong. Coming when it's raining, going out when it's gone. We could have us a high time living a good life. Well, I know.
All right, that was Jefferson Hamer with High Time. And from there, we are going to go to Steve Roy up in Maine. Steve's a multi-instrumentalist, seems to play everything with strings. Has toured with a lot of bands, Laurie Lewis, Molly Tuttle, Frank Sullivan and Dirty Kitchen, Joy Kills Sorrow. He has a duo with David Surrett called Steve and Dave Play Dead. And we'll actually hear a song from them as a duo later on tonight. But here is Steve's solo mandolin take on Dire Wolf.
was so hard and cold, froze 10 feet beneath the ground. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. I sat down to my supper, 'twas a bottle of red whiskey. I said my prayers and I went to bed. That's the last they saw of me. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. When I awoke, the die awoke, 600 pounds of sin was grinning at my window. All I said was, come on in, don't murder me. I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. The wolf came and I got my cards and we sat down for the game. I cut my deck to the queen of spades, but the cards were all the same. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. In the backwash of Venerio, the black and muddy mire, the Dio of collects his dues by the boys sing around the fire. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. Don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. Oh, don't murder me, I beg of you, don't murder me. Please don't murder me. Please don't murder me.
All right, Steve Roy in his backyard up in Maine with the dire wolf. From there, New Speedway Boogie. Go back to our backyard over here, or my neighbor's backyard. So New Speedway Boogie is said by Robert Hunter to be a commentary response to the Altamont Festival and the violence there, which was in December '69, so was just a few months before the Dead went into the studio. So it was just a few months after Woodstock, and was a very fresh memory when they went in to record Workingman's Dead in early 1970. So this song has kind of taken on a different level of meaning for me this year. One way or another, this darkness got to give. So here is New Speedway Boogie.
Please don't dominate the rap, Jack, if you got nothing new to say. If you please don't back up the track, this train's got to run today. Spend a little time on the mountain, spend a little time on the hill. I heard some say better run away, others say better stand still. Now I don't know, but I was told it's hard to run with the weight of gold. Other hand, I heard it said it's just as hard with the weight of lead. Who can deny, who can deny it's not just a change in style? One step done and another begun, and I wonder how many miles we'll spend a little time on the mountain, spend a little time on the hill. Things went down that we don't understand, but I think in time we will. Now I don't know, but I was told in the heat of the sun, a man died of cold. Keep on grumbling, won't stand and wait with the sun so dark and the hour so late. You can't overlook the lack, Jack, of any other highway you ride. It's got no signs or dividing lines and very few rules to guide it. Spend a little time on the mountain, spend a little time on the hill. I saw things are getting out of hand, well I guess they always will. Now I don't know, but I was told if the horse don't pull, you got to carry the load. I don't know whose back's that strong, maybe find out before too long. One way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness got to give. One way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness got to keep.
All right, so that's me with my band, New Speedway Boogie. So that takes us to the end of side A, and so I'm going to just take a little pause in the album order here and share with you a little clip from my 1993 interview with Jerry Garcia and David Grisman. Happened in Grisman's home studio out in Northern California. A place where they had been hanging out a lot of that time in the 90s, making all those great Garcia Grisman albums. And wanted to talk to him a little bit about the connections between the Grateful Dead and the acoustic music. So here's a little excerpt from the interview.
Looking back on the Grateful Dead music, even though
Oh,
obviously
let's
so
not
much,
talk
so
about
much of
Grateful
it,
Dead music.
just a little, just
Okay.
a couple of things.
Okay, this is
So
it.
much of
folks,
it
the
has
last
been,
project.
so much has been of it has been electric, music,
Yes.
but it always seems just to retain some kind of a connection to these old time country and folk sounds. For one thing, the songs really translate naturally back to playing them
Well,
acoustically.
the Grateful Dead started. Three of us that were in the band were in a jug band together, and we all had, me and Bob and Pigpen all had a lot of basic grounding in folk music of one sort or another, or like acoustic music. Pigpen was like a Lightning Hopkins nut, and that kind of stuff. And Bob was like finger picking guitar. He liked Reverend Gary Davis a lot, and I was coming from the bluegrass country stuff, old time music and that, and blues also. And so we crossed over there, and we also all had some knowledge of the great chess record, the Chicago blues of the 50s. As soon as we heard like the Rolling Stones doing all these tunes, Muddy Waters tunes and stuff like that, hey, we know those tunes, we could do that, hell, that was, Chuck Berry tunes and all that stuff. We knew those fucking tunes. It seemed like, hey, well, it'd be easy to start a rock and roll band. We already know this music. It's not like we have to learn something. All we need to do is get a drummer and a bass player, and we're off to the races. And that's pretty much what we did.
All right, so there's Jerry Garcia, recorded in 1993. If you caught what he muttered at the beginning of that, as soon as I said something about the Grateful Dead, he said, "Oh, let's not talk about Grateful Dead music." I think that that whole scene with David Gersman hanging out in the studio was kind of his refuge from all the craziness surrounding the Grateful Dead. Where he didn't have to be the Grateful Dead guy; he could just be hanging around with an old pal and playing tunes. So, all right. So, time for the outtake from Workingman's Dead. Mason's Children is a song that was intended for Workingman's Dead. They worked on it. You can hear sort of the beginnings of the studio recording if you go onto YouTube. And thought it'd be fun to include here. So they obviously thought it didn't fit the album somehow. Never really performed it much either. There are comments from Robert Hunter saying that this song also deals in some oblique manner with Altamont. This was a sleeper song for me. I'd never played it before, and I got really taken with its kind of 60s rock and roll energy. And it's a twisted little story. It's like a Edgar Allan Poe story or something. So here is Mason's Children.
I know you deceived me, and now here's the surprise.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mason died on Monday. We bricked him in the wall. All his children grew and grew. They never grew so tall before. They may never grow so tall again. We dug him up on Tuesday. He hardly aged today. Taught them all he ever knew. They never knew so much before. They may never know so much again. Mason was a mighty man was he. All he said, when I'm dead, I'm gone. Don't won't you weep for me? Ooh. The wall collapsed on Wednesday, chalked it up to fate. All his children ran and hid, they never hid so well before. Swore they'd never show their faces like Thursday came and Friday, with fires tall and bright. Mason's children cooked the stew and cleaned up when the feast was through. Swore they never had sunshine before. Take me to the reaping man, pay back what was owed. If he's in some other land, write it off in stone.
Mason's Children. So you decide if you think they made the right decision in leaving that tune off the record. I don't know. I like it. So onward with side B of Workingman's Dead. Kicking it off with Cumberland Blues and Jefferson Hamer. So a bluegrassy tune, but some really weird changes. The Dead were never content to just be traditional exactly, even though a lot of this music is very traditionally rooted. So words by Robert Hunter, music by Garcia and Phil Lesh. The original has these very thick harmonies, lots of instruments, and Jefferson bravely takes it on as a one-man band on guitar with, I think, amazing results. So here's Jefferson Hamer with Cumberland Blues.
I can't stay much longer, Melinda. The sun is getting high. I can't help you with your troubles if you won't help with mine. I gotta get down, I gotta get down, I gotta get down to the mine. You keep me up just one more night. I can't stay here no more. Little Ben clock says 8:15. He kept me up till 4. I gotta get down, I gotta get down, and I can't work there no more. A lot of poor men make a $5 bill. Keeps him happy all the time. Some other fellows making nothing at all. You can hear him crying. Can I go Oh, buddy, can I go down? Take your shift at the mine. Gotta get down to the Cumberland mine. That's where I mostly spend my time. Make good money, $10 a day. If I made a little more, I might move away. A lot of poor men got the Cumberland blues. He can't win for losing. A lot of poor men gotta walk the line just to pay his union dues. Can I know now? I just don't know if I'm going back again. I don't know now. I just don't know if I'm going back again. I don't know now. I just don't know if I'm going back again.
Jefferson Hamer, working it out on Cumberland Blues. All right, so from there, we go to Steve Roy and David Surratt. I heard from Steve earlier doing the Dire Wolf. Steve and Dave have this side project that they do called Steve and Dave Play Dead, based up in the Seacoast area up in Maine. And so David Surratt has performed with his wife, the singer Susie Burke, for more than 30 years. Plays a lot of instruments, got a deep background in a bunch of different kinds of traditional music. And so here is Steve and Dave's take on Black Peter, which Dave just described earlier today as a quirky version of an old country blues or Doc Boggs death song. So here they are.
Yeah, this is definitely a party time too. Yeah, I know.
All of my friends come to see me last night. I was laying in my bed and dying. Annie Bono from St. Angel say the weather down there so fine. Just then the wind came up, squall crawling through the door. But who can the weather command? Just wanna have a little peace to die, and a friend or two I love at hand. Well, my fever's rolled up to 105. Well, it rolled on up, it's gonna roll back down. One more day, and I find myself alive. Tomorrow, maybe go beneath the ground. See here how everything lead up to this day, and it's just like any other day that's ever been. Sun going up and then the sun going down. Shine through my window, and my friends, they come around. They come around. Come around. The people may know, but the people don't care that a man could be as poor as I am. Take a look at poor Peter, he's lying in pain. Now, let's go run and see. Run and see. Run and see.
was fun. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Different every time.
Steve Roy and David Surrett doing Black Peter there. And now we're going to go to three Boston area musicians. We have Ryan Fitzsimmons playing with Lawrence Scudder and Jim Larkin. Songwriters, roots rockers, versatile musicians, active in all kinds of bands and projects. And I've been part of many of these Dead to the Core shows. And so here is their quarantine recording of Easy Wind, which is a song that Robert Hunter wrote both the words and the music, but sung by Pigpen. And here's Easy Wind.
1, 2, 3, 4. I've been born a shiny black steel jackhammer, been tripping up rocks for the big highway. I'll live 5 years if I take my time. I'm balling that jack, drinking my wine. I've been chipping them rocks from dusk till dawn while my bottle rolls a bottle in the other room. The doctor says I better stop on that jack. If I live 5 years, I'm gonna bust my back. Yes, I will. Easy wind, run down the bayou. There's a whole lot of women, mama, out in red on the streets. And the river keeps talking, but you never heard a word it said. Come on, Larry. Trying to serve me tea. Cause I'm a stone jack baller and my heart is true. I'm gonna give everything that I got to you. Yes, I will. Easy wind, cross the bayou today. Cause there's a whole out in red on the streets today. Yeah, and the river just keeps on talking. Never the world itself. Yeah, and the river just keeps on talking. But you never heard the world itself.
Ryan Fitzsimmons on the guitar and vocals, Lawrence Scudder on the viola. So who knew Easy Wind was waiting for viola all these years? And on the drums and the bass, that's Jim Larkin. Easy Wind. Yeah. So last tune of the night, closing it out, we go back to my band with our backyard session, and of course singing of the further adventures of the folk hero Casey Jones. So here we go with the last track of Workingman's Dead.
One, two, three, and driving that train high on cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And you know that notion just crossed my mind. This old engine makes it on time. The Central Station about 8:45. Hits River Junction at 17:02. At 9:45, you know they're traveling again. Driving that train high on cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And you know that notion just crossed my mind. Trouble ahead, the lady in red. Take my advice, you'd be better off dead. Switchman, sleeper train 102 is on the wrong track and headed for you. Driving that train high on cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And you know that notion just crossed my mind. Trouble with you is the trouble with me. You got two good eyes, but you still don't see. Come round the bend, you know it's the end, but the fireman screams and the engine just screams. Driving that train high on cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And you know that notion just crossed my mind. Driving that train high on cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And you know that notion just crossed my mind. And you know that notion just crossed my mind.
All right, so there concludes our run through of the songs from Workingman's Dead. And thanks to all the musicians who are part of this. So my band, Wendy Sassafras Ramsey, Josh DeCaney, Jason Fridley. We had Jefferson Hamer, Steve Roy, David Surrett, Ryan Fitzsimmons, Lawrence Scudder, Jim Larkin. So thanks to everybody. We will be back with some others joining us as well for the American Beauty celebrations tomorrow. And thank you to Abby, and thanks to Passim for hosting us here and hosting us these years in the past for our real time shows as well. And thanks to all for tuning in. So there we go. Abby?
You've done almost all my job for me. Yeah,
Oh, sorry
thanks.
about that.
Thank you for putting together such a cool show. Like you were the one that kind of organized folks and got this idea together, and have continued to through these years. So thanks for your part in the organizing as well.
Thank you.
You folks can who are watching, you can go to deadtothecore.com and you can see all of the artists that did perform tonight and have performed with this ensemble in the past. You could check out their solo music too if you're interested in that. But yeah, join us tomorrow night here again, 7 o'clock for American Beauty. Just a reminder to folks that we are accepting donations for tonight. If you'd like to go to passim.org/stream and click on the yellow donate link, we suggest a $20 donation for watching tonight. That's about what the ticket would be if we were having this in the club, and when we have it in the club again. But thank you for joining, and we hope to see you next time. Good night, folks.
All right. Good night.